The selection show, so fun. We went to Adopt a Dog restaurant, brewery, and the fan turnout was amazing. It was really fun. I think last year, the girls were sitting on the chair behind home plate during the selection show, hoping to be called, and they didn't call. And that was a bitter moment for the team. And last night was so special, I think, because of that. I think the agony of defeat made the victory last night to get the regional at home. That made it really sweet for our players. And then the fans and the program fans, people showed up, made it really a fun, special evening for all the players and for me as a coach. So we really had a fun time at the selection show, and thrilled to be in the NCAA tournament, and even more thrilled to get an opportunity to show our atmosphere at Lambton Park and Yvette Gerard Field to the softball community. And it's going to be a fun weekend. The teams that come in here are really good teams and really class teams. We played at Texas last year with Princeton. I can remember being in the bullpen while we were waiting on our game to start, and Princeton was finishing up, and they had a pitcher and a catcher. And I asked the pitcher, "What's your major?" She's going to be a biomechanical engineer. And the catcher, I don't remember what her major was. And I said, "Well, without a doubt, I'm the dumbest guy in this bullpen." And I said, "But as a matter of fact, I guess I'm the dumbest guy on this side of the field." So I'm excited about seeing those kids again and having Princeton here and letting them experience our softball community and environment. So that'll be our first game. I haven't really dove totally into it. I don't know that much about them. I know they're well coached. I know they're a really smart team. They're really good about defending the bunt. They're fundamentally really sound. And then just starting to break down the hitting on scouting report. Then if we can get through that game, we'll have the winner of Baylor and Ole Miss. And again, two really good teams. We played Ole Miss last year. We played Baylor earlier this year. Baylor's extremely athletic, really well coached. Glenn does a phenomenal job up there. Ole Miss just, won 2 games in one SEC series, and then I think had a victory over Auburn the series before that, and then they won the first game of the SEC tournament. So they've won 5 games, I think, here just recently in the SEC play. So a very good team, very athletic team. They've got a lot of power. They've got a lot of speed. They've got an outstanding center fielder in Lassiter. It's going to be a competitive regional, and we really look forward to hosting all of those teams and the environment that we're going to see at Lambton Park.
Is there any way that the loss to Texas State could help y'all this week?
Get better, because the only good thing about a loss is it wakes you up and helps you refocus and you learn from it. That's the only good thing about a loss, because going through it and experiencing it I don't even know how to describe how losing feels to me, but it's not good, and I don't handle it good. But I do know that after you lose and after you face adversity, if you're a winner, you refocus, you really go to work, and you work even harder. And you try to get back to a place where that never happens to you again, or at least never happens to you any sooner than it possibly can. So I want to tip my hat. I thought Texas State did a great job hosting that tournament. I thought the playing field was phenomenal. The atmosphere was phenomenal. The Texas State fans, I think, had an impact on the game in the first inning. And I don't know why, because we played at LSU, we played at Oklahoma. Maybe I didn't have our kids expecting it, but I thought their fan base was phenomenal and the atmosphere was really good. And I think that'll help us this week as we go forward. And then, I just hated to lose. And, my wife reminded me we hadn't lost since 2018. And she's like, "How long do you think you can keep, you got to, sooner or later, you got to keep, you're going to lose," she said. And I guess that's true, but I didn't want to. And as much as I hate it, I'm really proud for Coach Ricky and our brother Scott and PJ, the coaches. They're really an outstanding coaching staff, and their kids really played well. They outsmarted us a couple times on the bases and on defense during the game, and tip your hat to them.
Your name getting called last night as a regional host, where does that rank for you in terms of favorite moments of your career?
You know what? It was fun. Like I didn't realize how much I would. I thought we were going to get it. I thought we were going to host. I just thought the win over Oklahoma and the win over LSU, along with 4 other top 25 wins, there's almost no way you can be 11 RPI and not host this year. Last year was 11 RPI, but we didn't have that. And they very clearly explained it, but we didn't have the RPI win. So once we did that, I was totally confident they would reward us. But then when they actually see it up there on the screen, and 13, I really kind of thought, I was thinking 14 after we lost the championship game. I was thinking more 14. It was a really good moment. And I don't know where it ranks. Seeing my kids have fun was one of the more, that was really what was special to me last night, just seeing the kids so happy. And I looked at team pictures this morning, and they were just, you could really see joy in their faces that they had played a really tough schedule. I think our out of conference was number 1, but I think our overall schedule was 4. So they played the 4th toughest schedule in the country. And if you're in the Sun Belt, you got to really work to do that. If you think about it, you know, if you're in the SEC, you can do that every year. But for everything to go in the order that had to go for us to end the year with a number 4 toughest schedule for the entire year, 56 games, and then to see our kids go through that, because it's not been easy. It's been really hard. And then to be rewarded and see the smiles on their face and the joy in their eyes and everything was really a special moment for me. And I don't know how you rank something like that, but it was a really good moment.
I know it didn't work out quite on Sunday as you did, but on Saturday you made 2 pitching changes and they worked out immediately. Have you ever made moves like that worked out so fast like they did?
That's a trick question. You know, sometimes as a coach you make moves and they work, and then when they do, it's not because you're a good coach, it's because you got great players you're making the moves with. And then sometimes you can make a move and the player isn't ready, or maybe it wasn't the right move, you know, and no matter how good the player is, they can't overcome the move you just made. But I think when the pitcher moves I'm making when I'm flipping with Landry and Denali and Chloe, they're really talented pitchers. They're really special kids. And I think you're going to come out right most of the time when you have them in your circle.
Coach, the really downside of this time of the year, playing the schedule that you talked about, is actually being worn out. But I don't think I see a worn out team. Do you feel like y'all are?
I'm killed.
What do you think? Is that an issue or is that a concern?
I think the players are fine. I'm tired. I went straight from the election show to my office and was there till 1 o'clock. I got up at 3 o'clock. I went home. I slept 2 hours. At 3 o'clock, I woke up wide awake. I told my wife, I'm telling my wife at 3 in the morning, she's on the couch. I'm in the bed because when I come in, I'm like a whirlwind. And so she moves to the couch. I go to bed. I wake up 2 hours later, and I go in there and say, hey, I need you to get me 5 white T-shirts, 5 orange T-shirts, 5 red T-shirts to signify the other 3 teams, and get me markers to paint the numbers and stuff on them, and have a 2 large to 2 extra large and 2 mediums in each one. And she's looking at me like, are you crazy? It's 3 in the morning. And so then I'm at my office at 4 and start back to working and get, planning out the practice for the day, tomorrow, the next day. And so I am a little tired today, but I think the kids we've tried to give them time off. I didn't practice this morning. We're starting here right now. They started at 12 o'clock, and we'll have 2-a-days tomorrow and Wednesday, and then we'll make Thursday a light day so that they'll be rested. I don't sense that they're extremely exhausted right now. I did a couple weeks ago, and we give them a little time off down the last stretch because they were tired. When we got in, I forgot the road trip. What was our last long road trip? ULM. Did we play a game right before? The ULM trip and something else, the kids were tired. And so we give them not just Monday off, but Monday and Tuesday off in those weeks, and hopefully we had enough left down the stretch. But I think they're ready to play and they're healthy. That's the main thing.
Coach, you talked about you getting up really early, getting to your office extremely early in the morning. that work ethic that you have as a coach, how have you seen some of that mentality rub off on your players to get to the point where you guys are to be a great program and have this opportunity to host a regional?
I don't know that work habit translates necessarily to athletes. I think a competitiveness from a coach is competitive. I think your players become competitive. If you hate to lose, I think your players will emulate that. And maybe it's because they're not around you. Like, they see me at practice. They see me 2, 3, 4 hours a day. They don't know when I get to office at 4 o'clock or 10 a.m. or 11 a.m. They don't know that. But I do think that they understand how to compete, and I think they're really ready to compete right now. I think they want to prove that they're going to – I think they got a lot of determination to prove they can get to the World Series. And just like they're the first team to host the regional in my guidance here, they want to be the first team to take me to the World Series, and I'm hoping they do too. So,
could you speak a little bit about how you've seen Brooke Elistad come into this program and really just have embraced the culture and become the player that she has been this season?
Yeah, Elistad, there was no doubt when I watched video of her this summer in June. I watched her clips on defense, and you could tell she was a really heady player. She always knew where the trail runners were. And then offensively, you could just see enormous talent. You could see power. You could see her going the other way. You could see a kid that was really aggressive at the plate. And, when she got here in the fall, you could tell, like, we got to get a little pickier at the plate, and we got to refine some things and teach her when to be aggressive and when to be patient. And she's bought in, and she has just emerged as a absolute superstar for us. And then defensively, at third base, she's given us a stopper like we haven't had since Kara Grimion. And to even be mentioned in the same breath with Kara is a lot. And she's going to be that type of player, I think, for the next year here. She's just a great athlete, a left-handed hitter with all the tools. And then what we didn't know was how good an RBI person. She was more of a 1-2 hitter over there, and she's really emerged as an RBI specialist for us, and it's just been huge for our program, defense and offense.
Your team was obviously in the tournament, but there are now only 6 programs in the country that have been in the tournament 25 years in a row. The 5 are like the elite of the elite, the other 5. What does that say for your program?
Tells me they've been going to the NCAA for 10, 12 years before I started coaching college, I've only been coaching college for 15 years. So when you think about that, I was like, that's a long time, 25 years, a quarter of a century. That's amazing. That's all, it doesn't have anything to do with Gerry Glasco or this team, but it has everything to do with our program, our fan base, the administration here, the dedication from the president, Dr. Savoy, to Dr. Maggard, to Dr. Leger, all the way down. They're committed to our softball program. You can tell it by our facilities. You can tell it by the schedule they allow us to make, the way we're able to travel on a chartered flight to an East Coast school. That's all stuff that's really a commitment to the softball program, and it's paying off in the way of 25 years straight, 40-win seasons, NCAA tournaments. It's just a testament to the coaches of the past. They've always had great coaching here, and they've always had great players here, and then they've always supported the softball program from the administration and then from the town and the fan base.
What do you remember about the matchup with Baylor from the early season series?
We lost 2 out of 3. I remember that. But I remember we had good pitching performance from Sam and Chloe in that series. And, it didn't go our way. I think there was one close game, one game that we won, and one game they won fairly decisively, and one close game. And was it 2-1 on the last day, maybe? 3-2. It was a close game at the end. We're a totally different ball club. I was watching a film of that game this morning. The lineup's completely different. And theirs is too. Like, both teams have totally changed lineups since then. So that was the second weekend of the season. I don't know. I don't know how much effect it'll have. I think the fact that Glenn Moore is a great coach and he's got great athletes is gonna matter. And I think the fact that we got great athletes and we've really had a good season. We've grown a lot as a team. The transfers and the kids that were already here now playing together they're more locked in together than they've ever been. And those are the kind of things I think that's going to come into play.
You said you've been watching film all morning. Talk a little bit about Princeton and what you see in them.
Princeton is a ball club that you have to play. They're going to force you to not make mistakes and play at a high level. If you play sloppy and you make mistakes, they're going to take advantage of that, and they can find ways to beat you. So we just got to come out, really be focused on playing a good, clean game, and do the things that we normally do. But we did on the first night of the Sun Belt, but we didn't do on day 3 of the Sun Belt tournament, and. It's really, I think when a 1 and a 4 play, it's about the 1 playing like a 1 and playing up to the level that we're capable of playing at and we should play at. It's about us being ready for competition and being focused.